Hola, mi gente. Joe Barreto back with you at the Credit Card Connection. I'm so glad you can join me. Well, mi gente, 2024 is drawing to a close, and I have to admit, it was one great year for me. Thanks to all of you, I've seen a lot of channel growth, more subscribers, a lot more viewers, a lot of interactions, and a lot of learning on my part from a lot of other creators. So I thank all of you for that. But also, as I was recapping the year in my head over the past couple of days, I realized it wasn't all perfect, right? Nothing's always perfect. I made four big mistakes in this credit card space that I want to share with you so that you don't make the same mistakes in 2025 that I made in 2024. So if that sounds good to you, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. Check out the referral links below that you'll see there in the ticker symbol. I've got my favorite card that you could apply for there, extra wallets, join the membership, a lot of other goodies down there. Also, my new website is there as well that I would like for you to check out. So just do me a favor, check them out when you get the chance. Let's jump into it, mi gente. The first mistake that I can admit to that I made, and it was more out of intimidation, it was more out of just not doing my homework. Like my boy Sled says, do your research, do your homework. I didn't do it. Was, and I'm going to bring it to the stage so that I can show you what it is. The gold from Robinhood Gold. Now, Robinhood Gold is an account that you can get an app or online. It's very easy to use. And I think that was part of it. It was almost too easy um, to use. And I was afraid that I was going to make a lot of mistakes or that I was going to put myself in a hole without knowing what I was doing. So if you can look here, it says what your potential gold rewards value is. I was getting at a certain point almost 5% back cash, on investments, on cash that I had there sitting there. You can see you can get an IRA with it with the gold card. You can get the actual physical gold card that gives you 3% back on everything. There's a lot of things you could trade. Really easy to use, very easy to. Once you did the homework, it was easy. But my problem was that I didn't give it the time. That was a mistake. I panicked, I choked, and I canceled it. Now, what I did was then put my money back into my checking account and I let it go. A couple of months ago, I met up with Chad from Chad's Money Minutes. He explained to me how he used it, how he's done well with it. And then I did a little bit more homework on my part and I jumped back in and I re upped and I was able to sign back up with Robinhood Gold. But that just shows you, you know, I panicked. I should have done my homework ahead of time and I should have known what I was getting myself into. So if you're choosing to go into a account like this, like Robinhood Gold or Webull or anything like that, check it out first. Make sure you understand it before you jump into it. And then you're like, what do I do next? So that was mistake number one for me. Mistake number two was very early this year. And I have to laugh about it now that I look back at it. I think it was February 13th. I had a live that I did, and I was all happy because I was going to be the first to cut up to cut up an American Express gold card. Literally cut it up. I bought metal shears, as you can see. There was chunks of the card being. It was hard to cut, but I cut this up February 13th, and that was dumb. Instead of canceling the account, and the reason I canceled it, and I've said it many times, was because I wasn't able to really utilize the card for what it was intended for, in particular, the grocery side of things, because they don't accept it at warehouse clubs and they don't accept it at Target, so I was losing half of the value in my eyes of the multipliers for the card. I was given an opportunity when I called for redemption offer, a retention offer, I'm sorry, where since I've been with them since 1989, I'm going 36 years now, right? They offered me nothing. The only thing they said was, we'll downgrade you to the green. And I'm like, wait a minute, I've been with you forever. The green is beneath me. That was stupid, real stupid on my part. That was a mistake because at least I could have had the opportunity if I downgraded to then get a month or two later the opportunity to upgrade again, get membership rewards points, and then next year the same thing. And that, my friends, was taught to me by Sledge from Sledge Inc. team. He said, Joe, you should have just done the downgrade upgrade. And then, sure enough, I ended up doing this later on this year, and I did a video on that as well. But again, back in February, my mistake was I let, for whatever reason, it's a credit card, guys. It wasn't all that serious, but I let my ego that I didn't get a retention offer that I thought I was worthy of, and I canceled the card, which was stupid because then months later, I applied and got the green card with no membership rewards points because they won't give them to me because I already had the platinum and the gold before it. So remember, Amex wants you to do green, gold, platinum. I already had the top two. They weren't going to give me points for the third. So that was a huge mistake. That was all on me. I should have known better. Let's keep it in the gold family here, mi gente, because the next card that I canceled was the American Express Business Gold. And I canceled this one in July. There was a few reasons why I canceled this card. Not that it's a bad card, because it's not. You know, the multipliers, again, they give you 4 times on certain on 6 categories. Your top 2 will earn you the 4 times, right? Great. I got the card. I got 100,000 membership rewards points on $10,000 signing in 6 months. And that was good because it gave me the 6 months to do it. Incognito mode. Sebi from Ask Sebi said to look for it. It took me like 2 weeks until I was able to find it, and I did. But here was the problem. When I opened this particular card, because 4 times on social media, software, things like that, that they said they offered, and I spend a lot of money on a month, I was noticing I was only getting 1 times for it instead of 4. So I was literally getting only 100 membership rewards points a month, where I should have been getting anywhere from 250 to 400 a month. That's a big difference. And when I called Amex, Amex says to me, well, it's the way the merchant made their codes and it doesn't qualify for us. And then when I called the merchant, they said, that's all on Amex. This is the code they're supposed to use. So the back and forth kind of got me frustrated. And it also made me frustrated because I had already had them with my Chase Ink cards and my Ink Cash and Ink Unlimited. Ink Unlimited at least gave me 1.5 ultimate rewards points. And with certain categories, the Ink Cash was giving me up to 5. So I lost again. So I was frustrated. I knew they weren't going to fix it on their end. So I ended up canceling the card this past July 2024. So for me, it was a mistake because I really should have been able to call ahead. Whether they would have told me or not, if it would have coded, I don't know. But this is a card that, in addition to me not getting the points that I thought I should have gotten, for it going up from 295 to 375 was also hard to swallow. You know, to me, that was just a mistake. Now, the last mistake, and this is embarrassing and just straight up nonsense and stupidity on my part. So, if you guys recall, because I've had other viewers remind me constantly of what I did. So, I had the Chase Sapphire preferred card. I got it in April 2023. And it has been a solid card. I've had no problems with it. Yeah, it gives you the normal. Chase is only 3 times on dining on every single card they have. I guess they give you 3 times on dining pretty much. One night I was in Florida hanging out. People think I'm lying when I say this story, but I'm not. You can ask Anthony Venture, who went over this with me. But, I was hanging out. I called Anthony. I was like, you know what I just did? I just upgraded to the reserve. And he was like, why? I was like, well, and in my head, I was like, I really don't know why. I should have known that I was already getting what I need from the preferred. It was getting 2 times on travel. Again, 3 times on dining. I never used the 3 time on online grocery shopping, but for $95, it gave me the access to cash out points with Chase at 1 cent per point. It was a bigger multiplier if you use anything on their portal at 1.25. And instead, now I went ahead and by getting, and it's a pretty card, but the reserve for 550, it's insane. I added $455 in annual fees for what? I wasn't getting anything great from it. Yeah, it gave me priority pass, but I already had that on my Amex Platinum. So this was just a card that I got to say that I had it. And this, I guess, is the moral of this video and this story. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And I noticed that that's the biggest mistakes I've made this year is because of that. I went ahead and got this card because I thought it would be, oh my God, I got the Sapphire Reserve. Big deal. Looking back, I was an idiot to do that. But literally 8 hours later, I kid you not, it was 8 hours later, I called and canceled it and downgraded back rather to the Sapphire Preferred. I explained to the Chase customer service agent that I made a mistake. I really wasn't going to use the Sapphire Reserve for anything that I already had everything on it from other cards or from the preferred itself. So to pay an additional $455 was just dumb and it was a waste of money. So, which leads me to this, guys. It was a lot of FOMO for me, the fear of missing out, right? There's a lot of us in this space, and you can go to different channels and see different creators, and they have the latest and the greatest and the best multiplier. And this card is metal, and this card is titanium, and blah, 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 blah. And I went to the Maldives and I went to wherever the heck else because of this card. And I kind of got wrapped up in that. And I shouldn't have. I'm going to be honest with you. 2024 taught me a lot. I grew a lot because a lot of these mistakes, if you notice, were made earlier in the year. And I've grown and realized that these mistakes were costing me. If I would have kept the gold card, that was an additional 325. The gold business, 375. And the Chase Sapphire Reserve, 550. The only one that I can say was really just me panicking and I should have done my homework ahead of time was the Robinhood Gold account, which I reopened because I see the value in it. But I just wanted to give you guys this kind of a recap for myself with my mistakes, because if you decide not only for these cards, but for any other cards going on in 2025, or if you see the latest and the greatest, let's say when Wells Fargo drops their autograph Beyond card, or Citibank decides to drop their Strata Elite, whatever other cards are out there, because there will always be cards, mi gente. Take a second, sit back and say, do I really need it? Do I need to pay those fees? What am I going to get out of it? What value, what true value is there for me? Don't do what I did. I was able to fix some of it, but nonetheless, I should have known better. So, mi gente, as always, I thank you for being here. You could be anywhere else. I wish you all the very best in 2025. But more than anything else, mi gente, I thank you for giving me the privilege of your time. Until next time, mi gente, take care.